Hey everyone, welcome to the Do the Thing podcast. This is your host, Stacey Lauren. Well, I could probably talk for 3 hours about my next guest because I got to know her in just such a beautiful way through the last 5 weeks that we had the Do the Thing Start a Podcast challenge. And as I'm even saying these words, I almost feel like crying because it's been such an amazing thing to witness her journey of being able to find her voice and get it out into the world. And I'm chilled all over just kind of talking about it right now. And I am just so grateful to have this opportunity just because I have my podcast and I started it and I fell in love with it. And then I started this challenge and then I met her through it and helped her start her podcast, which then has unleashed a whole bunch of things. And she happened to have been our Do the Thing champion for the podcast challenge that the community voted on. And it's just been amazing. And since the challenge ended just a few weeks ago, I've gotten to see her grow even more. And it's been amazing. And I just can't wait to continue to just be able to see her do the thing and have her now inspire and lead others do the thing as well. So I am just thrilled to welcome my next guest, Cassandra, to the show. Hi, Cassandra.
Hey, Stacey. I'm so glad to be here.
I'm just bursting at the seams right now. I'm so excited to get to talk to you.
I tell you, I am like you. I kind of tear up just thinking about this journey. It's been simply amazing for me. It's been so much more than just podcasting. I have discovered some things deep inside myself that I would have never discovered if I had not come to this community. And I'm so grateful.
Yeah, and I love that you said that. I actually just interviewed someone yesterday. I posted her in the group, Dr. Terry Chase, and we were talking about deep listening. And as you know, we did a deep listening workshop during the Do the Thing Start a Podcast challenge because I wanted to help people listen to their guests better, which also then translates into life. But the way that Terry was talking about it was in the way of deep listening to yourself and your own voice. And I love that parallel now. And I think that's what podcasting does. It not only helps you listen deeply to others, but it also helps you listen to yourself and what you want and what your deepest desires are.
Yes, I discovered it was like the opposite of the Pandora's box. It was a box full of jewels and trinkets, all these wonderful things inside of me that I did not know existed. And I dived into the box and my eyes, they were just full of wonder at what was inside of me that I never discovered. I knew I had this big voice. As a little girl, I've always had this big, deep voice that I didn't understand. And the voice was bigger than me. But when I came into this podcast journey, when I became a part of this community, I discovered myself. I discovered who I really am. And the excitement and the joy that I feel has just been, it's been so awesome and amazing that I just can't tamp it down. It's just like a fire that's been lit and it's so ablaze that I just can't put it out. It's just wonderful.
What do you think about the challenge and about being able to get your podcast started helped you get to this place now?
Well, I think what helped me to get to this place was that you took the time to help us discover our mindset. All of these things that we did that were not a part of the mechanics, those were the things that were so amazing to me. The mechanical parts of putting it on Callcast, all of this stuff, it was great. But the most amazing part was the deep listening session, was learning about our mindset, getting our mindset right, flexing our muscles, all of those things. They helped me to dive inside. And those were the most important things to me. And becoming a part of a community that was doing the same thing, that could encourage each other and say, let's do this thing. But all of those things that you put in place, those are the things that I cherish the most.
And what do you think about the mindset is what helped you be able to move forward? Because that's the biggest thing I think that gets in people's way, right? When they're approaching something and they've got the mental baggage in their head holding them back sometimes.
Yeah, with me, the mindset was fear of the unknown, fear of failure, fear of others not accepting a product that you give and you give your heart and soul to, fear of not being successful. But once I came onto this challenge and I learned that the thing that was holding me back the most was all this stuff. I Googled this, I Googled that. You need this, you need that, you need this. And I was so overwhelmed. And when I came onto this challenge and I found out that I could just do the thing and it could be messy, it could be imperfect, and it could be just with my iPhone. I didn't have to help all the mechanical parts, and that I could just do it with what I have now. That actually helped to set me free. That helped me to get the mindset that I could do it. And that's because you said you don't need all that stuff. Just get your voice out there. And it will be an evolution. Yeah.
I'm curious, did you watch that? Because I know you watched the other Facebook Live, but I can't remember if you saw the one with me in the shower cap after my shower when I
did.
Okay,
I
cool.
did.
Did that help at all? Because I just saw a shift in the group after that one. And just for the listeners, what I did was I wasn't planning on doing this at all, but I just saw a lot of people were trying to be perfect. And it was almost making the people that weren't posting, they weren't ready to post because they were seeing this perfection. And I wanted people to see, no, I don't need this polished video. I want to see some imperfection. And so I was just curious if that made a difference for you at all.
It did, Stacey, because we live in a world that people expect perfection. People look for perfection. And when I saw that, I was like, wow, she just stepped down here with a shower cap on. And I think that helped me to even interview someone in a little cafe because I didn't have all this stuff and I could just walk up to them and introduce myself. It helped me to know that I didn't need all that stuff. I didn't have to look perfect. I didn't have to have all my makeup on. And I was like, okay, I can just relax, settle in, and just do it.
Yeah. And there's something about understanding that idea of the person listening to you does not care about all of that. They just want to hear the message, especially if they're and when we'll talk about your podcast in a minute, but specifically your podcast where you're helping see people that may not be seen and you're the one that's seeing them and giving them a space for connectedness and community.
Mm-hmm.
And when that person is having their darkest day and they're hearing your voice, they do not care if you have lipstick on.
No. They don't care about all of that. And I found that when I do talk to people and that when they come to the village, that all they care about is, can I get some relief today? Can I feel good about myself today? Can you say something or help me in some way to release this energy, this negativity, and give me some positivity? They don't care about what I'm wearing. They don't care about any of that. The voice is where the power is. The voice is where the power lies. And so when we get that, it's not in the makeup. It's not in all of that. The power is in our voice.
And the moment I saw a change in you was the moment that I can't remember what was going on with your Callcast. And for everyone knowing, Callcast is the podcast platform that is easy to set up. But obviously with any technical thing, there's always something that can come up. And there was something that happened. We got on the Zoom at like 9 o'clock at night. I don't even know that happened. We got on Zoom at 9 o'clock at night because you messaged me and I was like, you know what, if I can help you just figure something out. And then whatever it was, it got fixed. And I remember just seeing that relief in your face. And I'm almost just wondering, is that another moment for you that then got you to realize like, oh, I could really do this?
Yeah. And in that moment, I was getting frustrated because it's like I had reached this, I was on top of the mountain and I was dancing and listening to the music and having all this joy. And then here comes this thing that kind of set me back. I was having technical issues and it went on for days. And I believe that everything happens for a reason. Mm-hmm. And I think that happened so that I could push through it, so that I could still keep my joy and know that it was going to work out eventually. But I almost gave in to the negativity. I almost gave in to, am I not going to be able to do this? But after talking to you and we got to talking and something, there was a release where after I talked to you, I said, okay, I'm not going to lose this joy. I'm not going to lose this enthusiasm. I'm going to keep it. I'm going to keep on dancing on top of this mountain until I get to where I want to go. I'm not going to let this hinder me in any way. After that conversation, and that's why it's so important, connectiveness. And we don't realize it, but just talking to each other, we can release something. We can help somebody to be able to push through a negative situation.
Yeah, and you're making me think too. Another one of the things that I say is really, I actually was telling my daughter this the other day. I'm like, you know what? Out of all these episodes and all the work that I've been doing with Do the Thing, I think the number one piece of advice for people on doing the thing, at least this is my answer today. I don't know what it will be in a few months, but right now, it's being able to ask for help. And I feel like other people in your situation, when you were getting stuck, they could have given up, right? And I'm just kind of curious, do you find that you're open to asking for help with other things, or how are you able to do that? Because that is something that I think is hard for some people to do.
I think for me, even podcasting, I have people that I know that have podcasts, and they, for a year almost, Stacey, they would say, yes, I can help you. I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you. And so I think when you ask for help and you don't receive it a few times, you kind of get in that shell. You're like the turtle. You put your head in the shell and you think, okay, I'm going to have to figure this out on my own. I think because I've been asking, and it seems like the people that know how don't. And I always look at it like this: people are busy with their lives, and I don't blame people for that. But when this came about, I was so excited because I said, now I can finally get the help. It's not hard for me to ask for help, but sometimes when you don't receive it, when you're asking, you sometimes want to retreat into that shell.
What do you think would help someone that gets in the shell to be able to come out?
I think that if they can see that the person that, if they're in like this community, I think what helped a lot of people come out is seeing other people's imperfections, seeing other people asking for help. Sometimes if you see that other people are doing it, if you're sitting in a group and other people, I've always found this, somebody can break the ice, then other people will follow. I've been in meetings where nobody had any questions, but as soon as I got up and asked a question, everybody had questions. So sometimes it just takes that one person doing it, and then the other people will follow because they say, okay, they ask, and it's okay, I can do it too. So just seeing someone take the lead in that will cause other people to follow.
Yeah, you're making me think this is actually kind of funny. This just happened to me the other day. I mentioned this in the group. I don't know if you remember, but I want to do a TED Talk at some point. And so I'm applying and I'm doing this group coaching program where you get to do this almost like where we're all on a Zoom together. And we had these breakout sessions where I had to do my 2-minute kind of like application video kind of role play example. And I was driving my daughter to school. She's driving, but I was in the car on my computer. So I wanted to go first because I knew I had to get out for 10 minutes while everyone else went. And I was like, okay, I'll go first. And I did. It was terrible. And the lady told me it was terrible. She was like, that was terrible. And I was like, you know what? I'm just so glad that I went first to help you guys all give the space to be terrible. And because you could see everyone else was really nervous and timid. Right. And after I went, they were like, oh, I'll go.
Yeah, everybody's like, oh, I got a question. I'll go. Yeah, it just takes that one. And that's what we don't realize. There's power in one. Sometimes we think that it has to be a big thing, but there's power in just little things. That one person that steps out there makes room for so many other people to be able to have that space to communicate. So all it takes is that one.
Yeah, and there's so many people that are paralyzed by that need for being good, but what you don't realize is sometimes if you do something and someone sees you do it and it doesn't go well, that's encouraging and inspiring in itself because they're seeing you be imperfect, which then gives them the space to do the thing too.
Yeah. It's just like when this podcast started, of course, my family, I come from a big family. My mom had 8 children, but everybody has their comments. well, have you seen this podcast? Have you seen that podcast? And I will politely say, oh, yeah, I have. But I have to know within myself, I'm good with my shape. I'm not trying to be someone else. I'm not trying to copy someone else. I'm not trying to duplicate someone else. Hey, I'm an original, and I'm good with being an original.
Okay, now is your time. I would love to have you share your podcast and what you're doing and just all of the cool things that you're up to now.
Okay, my podcast is called Some Teat Time Village. And Stacey, you helped me to come up with that village part. When we were talking, the lights came on, and we were talking in a conversation. And I said, "Oh, I think I got it." I said, "Thanks, Stacey. I think you helped me to get it, the title." But this is.
I wanted to just point out something because it wasn't even I think this is cool because it wasn't even a conversation. I remember the moment it was I was doing a Facebook Live. And so for you guys listening, sometimes it's just hearing the right thing at the right moment. Then it gets you to come up with what you are doing. So anyway, sorry I had to interject because I think that's important for people to know that you have the answer. Sometimes it's just hearing the right thing at the right time.
Right. And this title, it derives from my grandmother, Frankie. My mom had a big family. She had a lot of children, and my grandmother lived with us and helped raise us. And she always used that phrase, some teat. Come on in here, y'all, and get you some teat. So I originally wrote a poetry book titled Some Teat Time and Some Teat Poetry for the Soul. And that was, all of this derives from that village that I grew up in, especially with my grandmother. And it's in honor of her. And this village, the village part is there because I grew up in a fantastic village, a village that helped to raise me. It was uncles, aunts, cousins, neighbors, friends. Everybody had a part in raising the children. And so I thought in myself, why does it just have to be a village to raise a child? Why can't we have a village to do life with us? A village, because I think that we need a village even more once we get older. People around us to support us and to help us do life. So this was born out of that, Some Teat Time Village. And right now I have been busy getting interviews. I interviewed a girl that I mentored some years back, 12 years ago. And she shared her testimony on my podcast. Her name is Eleanor. And I wanted young people to hear about her journey. I want this podcast to be about everyday people. Everyday people. I tried to interview a bus driver today, but she had to go because the kids were coming out. I want everyday people that are doing everyday things to talk about everyday life so that people can understand, because everybody understands everyday life issues. So anyway, so I did that interview, and then I got brave. I was taking a friend to an appointment, and it was downtown in Memphis. And this place that I went to was the Concourse, and it's just really neat. It's got all these cafes and different things. And so I was busy walking around while I was waiting on her. And I saw this young lady sitting there, and I kind of walked by a couple of times. I bet she thought I was crazy, because she kept seeing me walking by her, and then I stop and just think to myself. I had to encourage myself to do the thing with someone that I didn't even know. I had to encourage myself. I had to do a little pep talk to myself, because I had never really approached a stranger, somebody I didn't know, and asked for an interview. And I did that, and she accepted. And that interview was so amazing. She talked about her life, about her getting her degree in college. She talked about crying that morning. It's like everything opened up. It's like what you told me about conversation. Once it starts, it's like a flower. The petals start to open up and the blooms start to get bigger and bigger. And that's just what happened. It evolved into a life story. And I was so glad that I did the thing. And then I said, okay, I'm brave now. I'm going to go ask someone else. So I said, I asked a young lady. I'm going to ask an older lady. But she said no. And I was okay with that, because I said, I understand, because I said, it's okay. I said, but I thank you. Because when it's a stranger, some people aren't comfortable with that. But I'm okay with being rejected. I don't look at it as being rejected. I look at it as it just wasn't that time. It wasn't that moment in time that was meant to be. So I just keep on trudging. I just keep on going because guess what? The next one will say yes, or the next one will say no, but I just keep on trying because those moments are created and they are meant to be and they will come.
And I love that you're exploring this side for so many reasons. But one is you're kind of getting to give the person a gift, whether they say yes or no. Because if they say no, you're getting them to flex the muscle of holding a boundary, right? And saying, no, I actually don't want to interview. And if they're saying yes, some of them are stepping out of their own comfort zone to talk to you and take a chance with you. And then that's elevating a whole nother thing that you don't know what's going to happen. And so either way, it is a gift and it's so cool. And I love what you said about the everyday people. Actually, the person I was interviewing right before you, Mary Latham, she traveled the country. She interviewed all these people doing really good things. Her brand is Do Good. And she was talking about people that gave kidneys, but then her best story was someone that actually just gave M&Ms to a teller. And she's like, that was one of my favorites because everyone can relate to that. And so that's the idea, right? Of being able to talk to everyday people, because that's where a lot of times that's what we're able to connect to. And while all the stories are amazing, it's great to be able to connect to someone that is just maybe something that is regular.
Yeah. And something this young lady said at the end was amazing. I said, I thank you for this interview. And she said, thank you because I needed this more than you needed it. She said, I needed it more. So you don't ever know what that conversation is going to do for someone. Like you said, it's a gift. It's a gift of joy. It's a gift of being able to release. It's a gift of allowing someone a space to feel better about themselves. It's a total gift that you're giving someone. When you open up, when you allow that flower to bloom, when you allow those petals to open.
Yeah, and they sometimes don't even know that they have anything valuable to say. I know that's something a lot of people say in the beginning. They're like, I don't know if I have anything valuable to say. And I'm like, you do, trust me, you just don't know it yet. And it's cool because you're giving them that gift too.
Yeah, because if we look at our voices and what we're doing as a gift, if we can just keep that, if we can keep that enthusiasm, I plan on keeping that enthusiasm because ever since I did the thing, girl, I've been laying on cloud nine. Them clouds up there, I've been laying on top of them clouds ever since I did the thing. Because it did something for me. It's like a dam was open and the water just flooded out. It's water that's been backed up inside of me for so long. And when the dam opened, it was like, wow. And I don't ever want to lose what I got. I don't believe I will because I even was sharing this with a lady at my church after we went to BBS. I was out on the parking lot and I was just so excited and she was so excited. It's just like that, Stacey. It's like you have given me a gift. You have given me the space to allow that dam to be opened up. You have given me a place that I can just be and not do, just be who God created me to be, to use this big voice to help, to heal, to help somebody else to be able to use their voice to have a space. Because so many people in the world, they have a voice, they have a story, but they have nowhere that they can share it. And I want to create that space and let them know that it's okay, whatever the story is, whatever you want to say, whatever you want to tell me, it's okay. This is a safe space.
So what do you recommend to somebody that is thinking about doing a Do the Thing challenge, but they're nervous or not sure if they have time or whatever is going on for them that's coming up? What would you say to that person?
To anybody that is thinking about this and you are nervous, because I was nervous, I've been there and I didn't know. And like I said before, I think that we get nervous when we're facing anything unknown, anything that is new, anything that we have never done before. It's just like going to the new job. You're nervous on the first day. And after the first day, you're like, oh my God, I couldn't do anything right. I couldn't figure out how to do this. But if you just allow yourself the time to just exhale and just take a deep breath. And guess what? Tomorrow it'll get better and it'll get better and you'll be able to do it. But you got to know that if you don't do the thing, if you don't use this voice, one day this voice will be silent and nobody will ever know that this voice ever existed. So you've got to push through. You've got to stretch yourself and allow yourself to overcome and jump over that hurdle of fear. Because guess what's on the other side? There's great joy on the other side. There's some wonderful things on the other side. And so you got to push through, because anything that has been birthed in this world, it had to struggle. It had to come through fear. It had to come through doubt. No flower that you see out there that has bloomed just jumped up and bloomed. It pushed through hard clay dirt. And that seed had to die. It had to push through so that it could bloom. So just keep pushing through. Keep stretching yourself every day. Push through a little more. Don't let anything stop you, because there's great joy on the other side. And your voice needs to be heard. This world needs to hear you.
Well, I'm hoping you guys are going to sign into Apple or Spotify and follow Cassandra's podcast, because I mean, there was one morning I was listening and it was literally your voice pierces in a way that it brings my light out. And it's just so cool to know that you're doing this, because I just think so many people have those moments that they just need something when they don't know what it is sometimes, but to turn on a podcast and listen for 10 minutes and hear that they're part of the village. I think there's just something so powerful about that.
Yeah, and I think if people know that they matter, I say that in my podcast, a place where you are heard, where you are seen, and where you matter, because so many people in the world don't realize that they matter. And to hear that you matter, and to hear that I can give you a virtual hug today, because so many people don't even get a hug. So we're living in that age now of people off to themselves, or even COVID did that. And all of this that I'm doing now is stemmed from a friend that was sick with COVID and almost died. And I started using my voice to try to encourage her every day. And it progressed from audios to Facebook Live and now to a podcast. So that all came out of deep pain. And listen to me. Things can be birthed out of pain. When you had your child, that child, and just, you felt some pain when that baby was coming. But wasn't it a great joy when you held that baby in your arms and you said, oh, look at this beautiful gift? But everything, it came out of great pain. And you probably thought the pain would never stop. But 12 hours later, for me, the baby came. And that baby was so beautiful, and it was worth the pain. So push through the pain. Keep on going. Keep on doing the thing, because I plan on doing the thing until I can't do the thing. Because I started doing the thing and now the thing doing me. So I just say, keep on doing the thing. Keep on going.
And what do you think's in store for you now? What are your dreams?
My dream is to continue to get those voices, the people that are not seen, that are not heard, that are not valued, to get them to open up and share their stories so that they can feel that amazing joy that is so great when you share your story, when you can get it out. And my dream is to just keep on doing the thing. I don't know what is out there for me in the future. I don't know. But all I know, Stacey, is that I'm walking into the unknown. I'm good with walking into the unknown and not knowing what's out there, because I've seen what can happen just by answering a link and say, okay, so I'm going to sign up. So I am just full of wonder. And whatever happens, I'm going to be good with that. If one person listens to my podcast, I'm good with that. If 1,000 people listen, I'm good with that. I just know that if I can help one to know that they matter, that they exist for a reason, that they're not just on this planet, just walking around and in la la land, that they exist and they are valuable, that's what I want to do. And I hope that by even doing this with you, that somebody can come. I don't really have right now any great aspiration in mind, just to keep doing the thing. And Stacy, you are amazing. I know that you asked me that question about my aspirations, but for you to do this, I'm in love with you. I love you, Stacy. And because for you to open up like that and to welcome all of us that didn't have a voice, that our voice was there, but it was silent or it was hidden away behind the door, that some of us were like me, the little girl hiding behind the coattail of her father and peeping around, thinking that she's not good enough or she don't know how to do and thinking that she's inadequate. You have opened up so much for so many. So I want to thank you. I want to thank you. And I want to tell you, don't ever think that what you do doesn't matter. Don't ever think. You just keep on pressing. You keep on doing the thing because you're making a difference in the lives of people, everyday people. So I thank you.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. It's good to know because sometimes it could be, whenever I hear your appreciation, it's really good to hear for sure. I really love what you said about how you've been through this challenge. You were able to flex the muscle of walking into the unknown because you didn't really know what was on the other side of you. And I've always thought the challenges are good with helping people overcome perfection and understand the need for community and accountability and why it's important to identify the why. But I don't think I connected the dots to that feeling of walking into the unknown. And I really like that because I think that uncertainty is what scares most people away from doing the thing. And when you already have seen yourself do it and it works, and what the end side of that is, I think it does help us be able to do whatever the next thing is that comes up.
Yeah, because nobody likes walking into the unknown. We want to know everything. We want to dot all the I's and cross all the T's. I have a sister like that. She said, girl, I couldn't interview nobody just off the cuff. I'd have to have 20 pages of stuff that I've written down. But when we let go and just say, okay, I'm just going to do this. I'm going to walk into the unknown. I don't know what's out there, but I'm just going to put my voice out there and I'm going to keep walking. And when we do that, I think that when we have that wonder of looking out, and I think I told you it's like a bird that's in the nest. That bird in the nest, the little baby bird don't know it's a big world out there. The baby bird is afraid to fly. The mom has to push the bird out the nest. And then when the bird figures out there's a big world out there, it's like, wow. So when you walk into the unknown, you suddenly realize that there's a big world out there and I'm loving it. So you keep walking and you keep doing it because you found that when you do it, you feel joy that is unspeakable. I just cannot express the joy that I feel since I've done this. The overwhelming joy that I have every day now when I get up. I'm up late at night trying to figure out stuff and on my own, just trying to figure out how to do this or how to do that. And it's so amazing. The new things that I'm learning, I'm so excited. In the unknown, in that place called the unknown, is some wonderful treasures. And if you never walk into the unknown, you will never see the treasures that are out there.
Okay, I would love to hear we talked a little bit about the community and the power of the community, but I would love to hear how that really impacted you through the challenge to be able to do the thing. Because I think that so many people can live in a vacuum and they can think that they just need to power through and put their head down. But when people understand the my people component, when they see that a community helps them, number one, it makes the thing so much more fun to do. Yeah. And then number two, you realize by you doing the thing, you're getting to meet a whole new slew of people that are doing the thing with you, which kind of almost gives you a reason to do the thing in a way.
Yeah, I think that helps with accountability too. I have talked on the phone with some of this community. I mean, we talked for a long time. And I think one evening I was at my mom's and I talked to one of the dare doers and she was having trouble finding how to do something and we were trying to figure it out together. It's always good to have someone that is going through something. Anytime you meet someone that's going through the same thing that you are, it makes it where you can talk about it, you can share your struggles, and you can work it out together. And then when you hear someone say, if you need me anytime, call me. If you get into a tight spot or you hit a brick wall or you don't know how to do something, it's always good to know that there are other people out there that are doing it, and being in a community of people that were so willing and so ready to get to know you, to talk to you, to call you, to be on the phone with you and talk about life and learn about each other. It didn't matter where they lived. It didn't matter what color they were. It didn't matter their politics. None of that mattered. All that mattered is that we're on this journey together. And it helps to have someone on the journey with you. They're on the same road. They're going through the same thing. It just always helps to have that community.
I would love to hear your number one piece of advice for people on doing the thing.
My number one piece of advice for those who are doing the thing is don't give up. Don't give up, because there will come places where you will say, oh, I'm behind on the challenges. I noticed there were some that said, I haven't started, or I'm behind. We are not on a time schedule. This is not something, this is a lifetime journey. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. So don't give up. Keep going. Even if you're behind on the challenges, if you're not up there with everybody else, don't let that deter you from doing it. Don't give up, because I heard somebody say, I almost gave up because I haven't even started. Start, begin. It's all about beginning, and just take it a step at a time. My grandson reminded me yesterday of something I tell him all the time. He said, life by the inch is a cinch. Life by the yard is hard.
Wow. Sounds like he learned from someone pretty amazing.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear what's coming alive for you after our conversation today.
The enthusiasm, the joy, the excitement, the freedom of being able to do something that has been inside of you. And I don't want to tear up. To be able to release something that's been held inside of you for so long, to set it free. Just being free and being okay with just being me, not trying to compare, not trying to, no nickels, no numbers, no noise, not even concerned about the money, not concerned about the noise of who likes me and who doesn't like me. No, not concerned about the numbers, just being free to be. That's what's coming alive. And that's what I want to keep. I'm not concerned about the nickels. I'm not concerned about the numbers or the analytics. I just want to be free. And that's what you have done for me. You have set me free, and I am going to walk in this freedom. And I am going to just enjoy every moment of this journey. I'm going to enjoy every small thing, because if I can do 1,000 things with great love, I'll be happy than doing one big thing. I just want to do 1,000,000 things with great love.
Well, please share with the listeners where they can find your podcast, and then also if you're on any social channels.
Okay, I am on Callcast. I'm on Spotify, Apple, Google. I am on Radio FM. I am on Callbox, I think it is. I have signed up for just about every place, Apple. And I had to tell people they had a little podcast button on their Apple phone that they didn't even know they had. And my mom was like, oh, really? That's what that purple button is? I said, yeah. So I'm on, and I also do Facebook Lives. I do Facebook Live on Monday and Wednesday. It's called Some Tea Time. And I have a lot of followers there that have come from my hometown, that village that I grew up a huge following there is from there. But I do that on Mondays and Wednesdays. But I try to put meditations on my podcast as well as interviews, because people sometimes just need a little short, get up and go. And it's not long. It's maybe 10 minutes so that they can hear about the what ifs of life and how they can keep you from moving. Just simple little things about life. But you can find me on most any platform that does podcasts.
Oh my gosh. I'm so excited for you and for people listening. Well, I would love to have you back on maybe in the fall when I start doing interviews again and get your full Do the Thing story. This one, just so you guys know, I wanted to do a celebration interview of
Yeah.
Cassandra finishing the challenge and then also becoming the Do the Thing champion. And so exciting to have you. Yeah, so exciting to have you
And Stacey,
in the
I may be
community.
interviewing you sometime soon.
Yes, that sounds great. I would love it. Yeah, I'm so grateful to have you in the community. And I hope you'll be doing the next few challenges. We have the Get Fit Challenge coming up in the singles group. And then we have the Host Your Small Party Challenge coming up sometime.
I want to
too.
keep this going because I found that I was so excited about, I called it homework, but being in that setting again, every day I was so excited about, I got to do this and this is what there is. So it was good to be back in that. And I think that we need to always remember to keep learning, keep doing the thing. And there may be some challenges that you're doing, Stacey, that we can be a part of because that helps to keep us doing the thing. So don't just stop. Keep learning, keep going, keep growing. So that's what I plan on doing.
Yeah, you're making me think. It's funny. I've been saying that the Host Your Party Challenge, which is coming up next in the group that the podcast challenge just finished. And I was thinking that challenge was really complimentary because it's basically reaching out to people, right? And having them come to your home. It's just more real life instead of podcasting. But I think the other really cool thing about it is because when you do something new, you're reflecting on that new thing you're doing and you're learning more about yourself, which then can be a podcast episode. And so that's kind of interesting when I think about it. And I can invite you. I've been doing I have a really small private group just as I plan the challenge that I've been posting. And it's been really cool. I've been doing Facebook Lives in there. And it's been cool because I'm getting to know myself by doing this new thing. I'm actually hosting my party tonight.
It's again stepping out into the unknown, and it's layers. Everything is built on layers. Houses are built on foundations. So don't stop layering your podcast. In other words, doing new things, learning new things, because it will all go in together to help you to do your podcast even better. Because it's helping you as a person to evolve, because this is an evolution. So it's helping you to evolve when you get out there and do something that you haven't done, something new and fresh. So I think that we need to continue to jump into these challenges and keep doing it.
Thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you for having me. I have enjoyed myself. Thank you.
Hey. And for the listeners, do the thing. Don't wait for opportunity. Create it.